Hi and welcome to this very short tutorial on this eye look. This went a totally different direction than I anticipated, but this is done with the Beauty Bay XIO Coralie Nebuleux Secret, and if you want to see how I get this look, or how I got this look, stay tuned. Alright, face is prepped. You know, I always do my eyeshadow before face, so let's head into today's palette, which is the IO Coralie Nebuleux Secret. Yesterday I did a look in a very short video on the other palette because these come in a two-pack. You have this one, the Nebuleux Secret, and the Duce whatever Romance. You can't buy them single, you have to buy both, and I think they retail for around 20 euro, which is okay for me. Let's take a look inside. Like, do you know what this reminds me of? There is this palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. Is it the Don't Be Jelly? Wait a minute, let me Google that. A bit. A tiny bit. But this reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on what. Oh, I know! The Dark Romance from Beauty Bay also. They are very similar, but that's not the topic of this video. I want to create a look with that, tell you how to do this, and at the end I give you some thoughts on this palette. I used the Duce Romance yesterday and I was fairly impressed. Talking about pressed, these are, I think besides the glitters, all of them are pressed pigments. That means they will stain your eye. If you have a problem with that, stay back. If you live in the country where staining eyeshadows are apparently dangerous and you will lose your vision, don't use them. And I'm referring to the States because I know that pressed pigment or pressed eyeshadows always have the warning on the palette not to be used around the eye area, which is just bullshit. You can use them on the eye area. Nothing bad will happen as long as you don't like scrape it off and pour it into your eye. So yesterday when I wore the Duce Romance palette and took the makeup off, I had a stain on my eye. Like I had a pink stain all around where I applied the darker pink, but today it's just not visible anymore. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is that I feel a little bit forced with the look. Like, chances are high that my look is going to be green. You know, it's not a lot of variation, even though these are 8 pans, but I mean, you get 2 palettes, you actually can combine them, and then you have a lot of like, different version of an eye look. I just realized something that I have to show you. So this is the Dark Fantasy palette from Beauty Bay, not Dark Romance, it's Dark Fantasy. And this is the shade Slime. It's the same shade. The other ones do not double as far as I see. Let me just state that very clear. I am a collector. I have 74 eyeshadow palettes, so chances are high that when I have so many palettes in the same brand, that there are doubles. At the same time, I'm like, that should not happen. But timeline-wise, I think these were before the Dark Fantasy palette. But I'm actually not sure because these two, the IO Coralie duo, I got in the Beauty Bay mystery box. I never would have bought this, but okay, I now found what I was thinking. Good to go. Let's do the eye look. So I'm starting with Serpent on a angled fluffy brush, and I apply this a little bit, you know, like cat liner shape on my outer V area, taking that a little bit into the crease and just smudge it. Looks like that are always a trust the process thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen last week's fail of the, well, it was not a fail, but on one of my days off, I had a little bit of time off last week. I had to go to the next city, and I wanted to do something simple. Well, I ended up with a black smoky eye and glitter. But black smoky eye is a trust the process thing. I looked like a punched raccoon, but it came together in the end. So I'm now going into Wiz on a more like, I don't know, slimmer, it's not angled, fluffy brush. And I apply this on the center of the crease, just like that. I'm not bringing this completely inwards because I want to use the lightest green sheet for that. But what I do is I take this along the serpent color to blend the edge a little bit. I really enjoy how this is coming out already. Okay, so now I have a problem. I don't like how the edges on both eyes look. So what I'm doing, I take a translucent powder. You can also use a powder in your shade, it doesn't matter, but I'm taking this translucent one from Pat McGrath because it's currently in my project pan, as you see, and I take a fluffy clean brush, and what I'm doing now is I just go over the edges. It does instantly soft the blend. I don't know if you can tell the difference between this eye and this eye, but there is, to me, a difference. You can totally do this with just a clean brush. You don't need a powder for this. I, for myself, think it's easier with a powder. I'm now going into Sour Candy on a smaller, like a shader brush, and I applied some glitter glue, which I always do. Do you see how borderline dangerous this shade looks? I love it. And I'm applying this on my lid, but not everywhere. So I'm starting the inner part by tapping this on, because the Beauty Bay shimmer or metallic formula is crumbly, if that makes sense. If you press your brush into the shades, they are pushed aside and they crumble a bit off. So I advise you to be very careful with these if you use them. And I leave the outer part bare because I want to use the black glitter. So now I'm going into Roar with the same brush, but I just turn it around and I apply this on the outer, on the like bare outer V, by just tapping it on. Oh no, Fallout City, fuck me, black fallout is not good. So what I'm doing now is I take some Fix Plus and I just spray the brush. That can help. What you also can do is you can apply, ooh, that helps so good. What you also can do is you can take some of the glitter glue when you use some and just apply something on your brush. That will make it sticky. So you see we now have this harsh line on the eye. So what I do is I'm going back into Sour Candy and basically tap over that edge. And then I just flip the brush and tap over with whatever is left. And then switch back. You know, that way you can basically blend those two shades together without losing any glitter or color or whatever. So I basically took a little bit too much away of the black, so I'm going back into it and build it up on the outer part again. So I will finish the rest of my face and come back for the lower lash line. Okay, I'm now going into 2009 with a liner brush. And what I'm doing is I want to mimic a bit what I've done on the upper eyelid. And I basically place the black just on the outer third. And that's it. I'm now going into Dodo with a very small pencil brush. And I am smudging that along whatever is left on my lower lash line. I'm also taking this along the black and blend that outwards to meet with the upper crease thingy here. So I feel like the lower lash line is a bit bland. So I'm using this Odin's Eye gel liner from the Soleimani collection. And this is the shade 14. I threw away the box that they came in. And that is really annoying because the shade names are not on the pencil, just the numbers. So this is the 14. It's basically a glittery black. Yeah, that tied it together. So I'm actually missing a little bit of an inner corner highlight. I know I could use slime like the green, but I don't want to. So that's of course my perfect excuse to head into my Lemonhead LA glitter palette. This is the tiny one. This is Space Case Mini, but I also have the Pro Case, the big one. And there are so many cool shades in here. And actually the green is screaming at me. But would that be too obvious? I take this one. This is CeeLo. I think this would match. This took a complete different direction as I anticipated, but I like it. And I don't think that the green one is necessary, so I just let it like that. So let me just finish everything, put on mascara, and tell you just some thoughts about the palette. Okay, the look is now done, the face is done, so let me just give you some quick thoughts because my SD card is nearly full. I have 8 minutes left. I am actually a big fan of this. This is so much more up my alley than the light one yesterday. I love this look. Let me just take a mirror and everything just works together. And the only thing I don't understand is what are you doing here? Like the shade Negan, I see where this could work, but I feel like this crashes a lot with the green and the blue, and I don't see what this color is doing in here. So it's the only one I didn't use. So I used 7 out of 8 shades. I really enjoy the formula. I enjoy the Beauty Bay formula in general. I think these are fantastic eyeshadow palettes, fantastic like price, and like it's a fantastic value because even the bigger palettes are like 16 or 12 bucks and you get so many shades in such a good quality. It's just amazing. I personally would not have bought this palette or like the duo, but I'm very happy to have it. So I'm just thinking about what bad can I say about this palette. Well, probably the like whole situation around the color story will force you to go in a specific direction. So this is nothing where you're like, oh, it's an 8-pan palette, I get at least 5 or 6 different looks out of this. Of course, when you use one shadow looks, but in the end, they will all be either green or purple. And this is the turquoise shade. Okay, you can use this as a single shade, but in general, you are forced to a look like this. If you leave out the green and only work with the purple, yes, you end up with a purple look, but it's green or purple, so let's be real. So if you like this tutorial, like, comment, follow, you know, all the shit. And I will see you next time. Bye.